And while the Street Fighter roster contains some of the best knuckle chuckleheads like Ryu, it's also got some absolute stinkers. Number 10. Darren Myster. A character so poorly thought out that Capcom didn't even bother to translate his name to mean something coherent in English, Darren Myster is an Indian wrestling champion and essentially a poor man's Zangief. As such, we'll only ever remember Darren as little more than a cuboid lump with less personality than one of those robot arms that makes cars. Number 9. Gil. He's cheap, like super goddamn cheap, making the fight against him an absolute chore, and worse still means that you'll have to look at his chicken fat coloured hair and two-tone twat face many, many times. Number 8. T-Hawk. His stupid right-angle stance made him look like a terrible DJ who's only intent on ruining vinyl, and his dress sense screamed, "Do you get that he's a Native American?" Number 7. Skullomania. And his moveset just seemed to be all the leftover animation that the devs couldn't fit into the game. Number 6. Oro. He's just not very pleasing to look at with his melted candle flesh, elongated neck, and tatty garbs that look like they could slip aside at the wrong place at any point to reveal his saggy, ancient genitalia. To be honest, this one's just on the list because no one wants old man balls in their fighting games. Number 5. Remy, the self-pitying sulker. He looks like the kind of mope who just responds to everything you say by reminding you that everything dies in the end anyway, before flicking his green-dyed hair out of his face. And his Guile/Sagat fusion moves suck too, with his wiry frame looking like it would snap like a paper cup on contact. Number 4. Necro. Are you seeing a little bit of a pattern for this list yet? It was like Street Fighter 3 contained all of the half-baked, semi-coherent ideas straight out of the collective subconscious of Capcom. And while the Street Fighter roster contains some of the best knuckle chuckleheads like Ryu, Blanka, and Dudley, and while the Street Fighter roster contains some of the best knuckle chuckleheads like Dudley, 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 it was like Street Fighter 3 contained all of the half-baked, semi-coherent ideas straight out of the collective subconscious of Capcom. Necro, a Russian mutant who looks like he'd be better off as a background character in Final Fantasy VII than as a Street Fighter combatant. With his gangly spaghetti arms and stretchy moves, he's like a budget version of Dalsim. Number 3. Hugo. His modern day appearance makes him look like a middle-aged fishwife on steroids. Plus the fact that he looks like he's almost de-evolving in front of our eyes and has trouble breathing. Number 2. Doctrine Dark. There are times when you wish that fighting games would self-impose some boundaries when it came to ripping off rival games. In that spirit, Mortal Kombat should never have featured Ken lookalike Cobra, while Street Fighter should have left Doctrine Dark on the cutting room floor. This guy's breathing apparatus and colour scheme is a straight riff of Sub-Zero. The blades on his arms are clearly pinching off Baraka, and he even has a move where he fires a wire and drags his opponent towards him like Scorpion.
This game is a freaking rip-off of Mortal Kombat.
This would be slightly better if he was a vaguely interesting character, but his one outstanding feature, that's Notice Me Senpai Stare, and number 1, Sawada. What a Sawaka, or as Ben would put it, hashtag shit Sawaka for wackers.